If you ever felt like no matter what you do, life always keeps pulling you down, there is a reason for that, and it's not what you think. In this video, I'm going to share the 5 things that are needed that you need to do in order to stop that downward spiral. Number 1, stop taking too much of the control. Whenever you fear about the future, that's when you want to control everything so that that thing won't happen. I remember myself being controlling everything from conversations, situations that are happening around me in the present, so that something will happen in the future or something won't happen in the future. I wanted every person in my family to see what I can see and think in a way how I did. And all of those things that led me to the more difficulties rather than solutions. And that's what is dragging every one of us down. So instead, what I learned from all of those things is that I can never get out of this controlling nature if I am always operating from the fear. That means that the fear needs to be replaced by the faith, because the faith is always grounding your mind to face the reality, being in the present moment without caring about the upcoming future events. The fear wants you to lose the self-control and then control every other thing that is on the external. Whereas the faith sees that you are strong enough and you can face all of those things that are coming in the future just as you are facing it right now, just as you are doing it right now. And that's the thing. If you want to stop drowning more deeper, you need to stop kicking your arms and legs for controlling. And with that, I want you to figure out that what are your fears. Realize your fears, that okay, what fears am I carrying about the future that I think is co-created by the people around me. Because most of the times we fear that is out of the control of ours, and that's what we want to control, and that is what is co-created by the people around us. And like after that, just I want you to bring the faith. So bringing the faith in yourself needs only one thing. So you need to do this one thing, that give away every other thing that is there, that is happening around you, to the God. Like every single thing. And once you give it to the God, once you give it to the universe, you will be just like be surrendered and you will get that faith. That means that you are becoming and in charge of your own thoughts, your own words, your own actions, reactions, behaviors, habits, and every other thing, and not of the others. Number 2, taking command on your routine. In the times when you are downward spiraling hard, the routine is the first thing that gets affected, and sooner it becomes completely different from who you wanted to be and how you wanted your life to be lived. That's the one thing that we just ignore so subtly, that later on that we cannot figure out that why am I not able to stop myself from this downward spiraling, and how can I just get over it, how this is going to stop. The reason is quite simple. That is your routine. The routine can set you up for the success as well as for your failure. It doesn't matter the amount of the effort that you put in if everything is going on random. And even if you cannot fix out everything at once, try to fix the order in the beginning. And this is a kind of the reminder to myself also, that do not let your routine to be get affected by whatever the things that are happening, that whenever at hard times, when you just slip off from that one thing. So yeah, for this to be proved that why this routine is a major reason for your downfall, is that I can just give you a simple scenario to imagine that. You can just imagine that how would you imagine a person who is making up the excuses, who is always sad, is always depressed, is always not taking up the actions one or more than one or two that is making up the real progress. And how can you imagine that person? You must be imagining that person, that okay, that person, when you imagine that, what scenario do you see? That how would you imagine a person who is making up always an excuse, is always sad, is always depressed, is always not taking up the enough actions, or like taking up one or two actions that are barely making up any progress, or even sometimes doing none of that. And you will just say that okay, if that is the person, then that will be like, and with that you can just imagine the person with a bed whose bed is not made, and who starts its day with 10 or 11, very late, very lazy, and you can just see that that could be like a random mindset, with a random mindset that emotions of the day are deciding the flow of the day, and doing and picking up a lot of things that are not related to the goal, and doing up a lot of things that they are feeling like they are exploring something, but it is actually a kind of a distraction, and is most of the times distracted. And that's how you see that person. So if I would just say that if you can see that person, then you can see your routine, and then you can see yourself also. That means that you can just figure out that who you are going to be by seeing what you are doing right now. So your routine is going to direct and project who you are going to be. So in order to get that routine correctly in alignment, ask yourself that simply, what is the difference between the routine of my current version and my next version? Or when you are doing something, just think that, does this thing aligns with who I want to be? These are the enough questions that can answer that your routine is on the correct path or not. You do not need any other resources to get that routine. You already have it. And even if you do not have it in the present moment, you do not have to wait for getting it. Because even if you do not have that one thing in the present moment, you cannot wait, because the problem is still yours. Number 3, taking the self-control. By self-control, what I mean here is that not to react to any kind of situation, or give at least reaction that is possible. The reason behind this is that the reaction outraged in any kind or any form is the consequence builder, and it's not going to get you out of this difficult phase. The reason why you are still stuck in the same pattern, why you are still stuck in the same hard situation, is your reactions. To get out of this downward spiral matrix, it is really important that you need to take the actions and not the reactions. That level of the self-control is really required if you are stuck in that downward spiral, if you are in that difficult phase. For me, when I was stuck in that downward spiral, I remember myself that I was reacting to a lot of the situations, but later on I switched myself to not to react to any kind of the things. The change that was that one of the change that I brought to myself was that changing my reaction to the arguments, that even if the people around me doing the arguments are pulling me into that argument, I'm just going to get out of this. I'm just withdrawing myself out of it without reacting to it. And that was the thing, that I didn't react it out loud, just like the other ways how I did earlier. The reaction is something which is really needed to be controlled. The self-control brings some things that you cannot see right now in the present. The real thing that the self-control brings to you is that it will open up the blockages, the opportunities that you won't get if you reacted to it. Number 4, instead of fixing the things that you are trying to raise, fix first the things that are going to down spiral you more. This is the mistake that most of us do, that we try to fix the bar first, we try to raise the bar, we try to get more of it. This was a mistake that I did, that at that point of the time I just tried to get out of it, and I just wanted to be like, how can I just earn more money, or how can I solve this problem, what is going to solve this problem, and I can just get out of this, what are the things, all of those things that I can just do more, and how can I achieve more, how can I get ahead, how can I be quicker, more faster, or how can I be just like going ahead and just pushing myself out of this downward spiral. But the problem isn't getting out of it, or the problem is not solved when you're trying to raise the bar. It is solved when you fix the floor where you stand. And for this, instead of asking yourself the questions like, how can I get this more money, or how can I solve this problem, or how can I get the peaceful life, etc., etc., like how can I get more in this, and how can I raise the bar? Ask yourself that what are the mindset, thoughts, and habits that are breaking my flow, and how can I fix this? This is going to give you the clarity that you need. So if it is getting ruined up, if it is getting breaking down by the people, how can I isolate myself, and how can I work more better, and how can I figuring out all of those things? If it is about your habits, then you can just see that, okay, how can I fix this habit, how can I get this thing much more on a foundation level better, and that is actually going to give you the clarity that you need. Okay, so let me just remind you this one thing, that if you are thinking that, okay, yeah, these are the things, the people, the things that are breaking my flow, and you're just reacting out loud on it, no, that's not the way how you are going to do it. Because again, it's a reaction loop, right? So you cannot yell on yourself, you cannot blame it on yourself, you cannot blame it on others. The thing that is needed here is that you need to give yourself enough time, the more time, to get better at it. That's it. Number 5, build one habit. Now, this is the last thing that I'm going to tell, that if you cannot do the above 4 things, I want you to do this one last thing, that is building the one habit. I want you to build one habit, and may it be your workout, may it be the reading, journaling, gratitude, meditation, whatever it is, pick one thing and just stick on it. Keep doing it until you get better at it. And it will take time, but once it's built up, you will be out of this spiral. Thank you for watching this, and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See ya, and bye.